What's up, you guys? So we had a day today. Um, so you can see the movement that's right behind me. It wasn't really the best movement, and when I say it wasn't the best, I mean it went against my prediction. I had an optimistic prediction today, and today of all days, having the most optimistic prediction was kind of a little ridiculous or not the right choice. But we're going to get into all of the detail, what did happen today, and get into the Ortex data, where we landed with that, where we closed at. You can obviously see that. Go into, what's really going on in my head, and also talk about the Q&A that's supposed to happen. We want to make sure that we get our votes in there, and also my opinion on whether, it's secure or not. I know that some people, some people's problem is they're thinking, hey, I don't want to put in my information when it's not secure, but we'll get into that in a little bit. So before we get started, guys, hit the like button. Also hit the subscribe button for more videos like this one, and make sure that you get your free stocks with Weeble down below. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. If you're not following me on Twitter, the link is in the description. I want to get up to 1,000 followers. I feel like, we should get those followers up, those levels up. So definitely, hit me up with a follow. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into this. So AMC this morning in the pre-market, I started streaming around 7. Right around, I think, like a couple minutes after that, it started to tank. This really started to fall down. It was kind of consolidating before that. During the beginning stages of the pre-market, it did drop down a little bit, but consolidated all the way until 7, to where it did drop down. And by that point, by the time of me getting off of the stream, it looked like they already borrowed 2 million shares. And it was absolutely crazy to see that nothing really got returned at all, but they borrowed 2 million shares. So we'll see what the look is when it comes to Ortex data and what it's showing, because if it doesn't line up with how the price was moving, then we can't really make sense of it. But we can look at this and see that we did have an increase towards the end of the pre-market, and then as it opened, it increased to about 35, which is not bad. Going from an opening of 34.43 to up to 35.24 was not bad. It's about $1 move. But then after that large move, you did see a crazy decrease. Like, they were just geared up, ready to go with a bunch of short positions, and institutions may have pulled out of some of their position. I feel like they haven't. They're usually in it for the long haul. But we did see a lot of just negative activity, a straight line straight down to about $29.81. The lowest point today was $29.81. But that's not to say that we were only going to see that recovery, and I thought we were going to see that recovery from 29.81. We were going to see that push up, and it was going up to about 31, did pass the 15 moving average, and ended up, it was getting close to getting to that 200 EMA. Then what you see is that it did end up dropping, recovering a little bit, starting to level out, and towards the end of the day, it did fall again down to $29.83 this time. So it's down 11% from where it closed, which is crazy to see it break 30. That's not what we really wanted to see, right? Some people did. I'm okay with it, because the lower it goes, the more I'm going to buy. So I want it to go down to 5 again. If it goes down to 5, I'm literally taking everything out of every position and putting it into AMC. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't care what ZOM is. I don't care what SOS is at. I'm taking everything that I own in that position and putting it all in AMC. Anything else that I could find, any free cash, any pennies here and there, I'm putting it all into AMC, because that is a price that I can live with. If they're not covering their shorts, and we see that we're holding a crazy amount of shares, this is something that's going to skyrocket. And the lower that they put this thing, the more or the deeper the hole that they're digging themselves into. That's the way that I feel. So, and this is all my opinion. I'm not putting in any money that I'm not willing to lose. I'm willing to lose all the money that I want to put in there, and I will put all $44,000 into AMC at those lower levels, and see that increase. Obviously it'll be less, because AMC will drop down quite a bit if it does go below my cost basis of 26, but still I'll put everything that I have into that position. No ifs, ands, or buts. But there's a but right there. But as you can see, I still have my 900 shares. It's still sitting there. But in the after hours market, you did see it. It's starting to increase a little bit, not a lot. We had 83 million shares worth of volume, which was more than yesterday. I would imagine a lot of that was short volume that went through, thinking that this was going to be probably a positive day with a lot of buy volume. They already set up their algorithm to short the heck out of this thing as much as they possibly can. And they're bringing it down to levels to where people are like, okay, this makes sense. I'll buy this dip. You know, I bought 100 shares at, $60, and now I'm looking to buy 200 shares here. So technically I'm going to lower my cost basis a lot. And when that does increase, I'll gain a lot out of it. So I'm thinking that this is going to be really, really huge. And I'm very tempted, tomorrow probably to take out another option, a long-term option, to see how that plays out. Probably do one to like the beginning of next year or something like that, just in case. You never know what they can do or how long they can actually push this out for. But let's look at some of the Ortex data real quick. So this Ortex data that we're looking at here, let me go ahead and refresh it to make sure everything is up to date. We're looking at a change of 1.96%, return shares of 2 million and borrowed shares of 4 million. Remember that borrowed shares does not mean shorted shares. So when you see this, it's not saying, oh, they shorted, 2 times as much as they returned, or they returned 2 million shares and they only shorted 4 million shares. No, that's not the case. They borrowed 4 million shares, which means they can short in a later date. The estimated short interest free float did go up. The shorted shares went up from 77 to 78, and now is at 15.38%. We are seeing the shares on loan at 98.41 million. And utilization's at 90.41. We need to look at some of so when I talked about the borrowed shares, I always like to bring up Fintel. And this is something that you can look at just for a reference to see what they're shorting FINRA volume wise. FINRA volume for 8.3 you see was 14.7 million out of the total FINRA volume, which wasn't the total volume. The total volume was around 50 million. So you are missing some pieces, which is CBOE volume. You're missing some other pieces as well, which doesn't really add up to everything that you wanted to see here. But you're missing basically, let's say 20 million shares worth of volume out of this number. However, you are seeing 40% of FINRA volume being shorted, which is something you need to keep in your mind. Usually percentages travel with the rest of the volume, basically. So that's the way that I look at it there. But another thing I wanted to talk about today, so I don't push this video on for crazy long. I don't want to make it 20 minutes or so. I wanted to talk about the Q&A. This is something that I did get into, and it obviously gives you your share count over here. I'll try and go over here. Gives you your share count over here after you do end up verifying it, and you can ask a question, all that stuff. I did end up asking a question about technology and upgrading their theaters. I don't know if it will get answered or if it will end up getting pushed up the list. We'll try to, but I don't know if it will. I kind of did it a little bit late, but basically the premise of this, from what I understand, is that Timothy B's question of, do you plan to offer a dividend again, is something that a lot of people are picking one question to show how many shares the retail traders have. So right now we're sitting at 39.5 million shares out of 32.9 thousand votes, which we'll be able to understand the average that we're holding. We'll also understand the amount of shares that we are holding as retail investors. So if everybody can get their share counts in here, it's something really big. So that's the whole premise behind that. And I think it's a good idea, because then we can physically get a share count based on the amount of people we can gather together. Whether it's Matt, Trey, me, TMI, Lou, whoever. There's a lot of different people that can get people to vote on at least this, and also vote on some of the other questions that you do see. Anything that you do see is, are you looking to reduce your debt without issuing any shares? Anything you want to, see get answered or hear get answered, you can upvote. So I have a question which I don't know how to go to right now. I just got into this, but basically to talk about if this is secure, it is a protected site. It is a secure site. This, and if you have Webull, you're going to be able to do it through, if you want me to put up a whole nother video on how to get your Webull link to this, because I know it's an issue for people to get their Webull link to it, I can do that. But basically, you have to go through Apex Clearing, and I can do that if you want to. Just let me know. As soon as we get the comments, I will, put out that video, or I'll record it and put out the video. But that's what I have for you guys. I mean, it wasn't really the best day today, right? We are decreasing in the after hours market as well. They can continue to push this thing down if they want to. I mean, if it gets to levels to where it fills a gap at 25, then it just creates buying opportunity for people. Trust me, it really, really does. So I'm staying strong. You can do whatever you want with your shares. I'm not telling you to do anything. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. Everything is merely just my opinion, and my opinion alone, So yeah, guys, make sure you hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell for more videos like this one. Make sure you do, everything you can in order to support the channel if you guys like it. Also, follow me on social media. If you follow me on Twitter, then, go ahead and hit that follow button, like some tweets and all that stuff. Do all the things you can do. But I'm going to get out of here. Thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next video.